We begin with breaking news right now at 4 o'clock. Governor Katie Hobbs just declared a state of emergency for excessive heat. This includes Maricopa, Coconino, and Pinal counties.
This means there will now be more money and resources available to help those and local heat relief efforts. Political editor Dennis Welch is joining us now. I mean, how significant is this?
Well, this is something that's been, coming. I want to be very clear that Governor Hobbs has been saying for quite a while now that is an option that is on the table. And some people are going to look at this and go, what has taken her so long to do this? This is not something that normally governors actually do, is declare emergencies for heat. So they had to look at some of the things of what to do to declare this heat. And under this declaration, it involves those three counties, and those three counties had to meet this criteria. Did they see excessive heat for 30 straight days from June 30th to July 30th? And they indeed did. We know that here in Maricopa County, we saw those 110-degree days, day after day after day. So what does it do? Again, you mentioned that it frees up more money. So what is that money going to be used for? Well, that money could be used for costs that have been incurred during this time. Specifically, some of the things I've been hearing about with critics, they were saying, look, you look here in Maricopa County, a lot of the cooling centers that are out there, those things, they're closing at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and we know that during the middle of the heat wave, the peak of all this, we know that that was still a time that was very hot. We saw very high temperatures at that time. The other concern was some of the low temperatures. The low temperatures were only getting down to like 97. We're starting to see some improvement at this point. I'm sure that Paul Horton will tell us here in a little bit later. We're starting to see some improvement on that, but during the peak time of this heat wave, it was a really significant thing. So that's, I think, what's going to be happening here. That money is going to be getting out to these communities to help them respond to that.
So you're talking about this this month-long period, end of June, end of July. It is now August 11th. So what do you think? Why wasn't this something that happened sooner into the month of August?
Again, typically, these emergencies are declared, for wildfires or for floods when communities ask for the help and say, we don't have enough. Up until now, the cities and towns here in Maricopa County and the other two counties have been saying we're able to deal with it. But remember, yesterday, here in Maricopa County came out with new numbers, 59 confirmed dead. If you compare that to last year, it's significant. We're ahead of that pace from last year. And why is last year significant? Because last year was a record number of heat-related deaths. We had 424 people, I think, who succumbed to heat-related illnesses at that point. Now, another piece of this announcement today is going to be more forward-looking, more future-looking, and they're going to get people together in a room over the next few months to start looking at how do we deal with this in the future? What kind of criteria do we have to set out to see if it meets a heat emergency to free up money in the future? Because again, this is not something we normally see in Arizona from governors, or governors really across the nation. Remember, I think Gavin Newsom declared an emergency last year ahead of a big heat wave, but it's not something we hear a lot about.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. Certainly something we'll be following.